We hear a lot about psychedelic-assisted therapy, but 3 out of 4 people who choose to consume psychedelics do so at home or in nature with friends or loved ones. I'm April, founder of Set, an integration platform to help you get the most out of your psychedelic experiences. The podcast episode you're about to listen to may reference one of my previous shows, The High Guide or How to Do the Pot, because I've been a trusted source in cannabis and psychedelics since 2015. I invite you to visit getsetset.com and sign up for our newsletter to receive your free guide on set and setting to make the most of your next psychedelic journey. This podcast discusses altered states brought on by cannabis and psychedelics and is intended for listeners 21 and over.
I feel like the golden teachers are like the tried and true. They can have more of like a visual, feeling euphoric, spiritually in tune.
The golden teacher shroom strain is one of the more popular psilocybin mushroom varieties. You just heard from Natasha Lannert, our high guide or psychedelic facilitator in season 3 of this podcast. If you're a longtime listener of the show, then you may recall she prescribed 2 grams of golden teacher to each of our 3 sister trippers that season. While each woman had her own set of intentions and experience with psilocybin, this strain and this dose suited each. In part, golden teacher's relatively low potency and its ease of cultivation make it an excellent choice for the beginning psychonaut. I recommend this kind of low potency shroom before you dive into the deep end of something like penis envy or ghost. Both shroom strains will explore more later in this series. Also, before we get into golden teacher, today's shroom strain, I want to tell you something else I'm working on. When I started working in cannabis in 2015, the number one question I got from anyone I encountered as the one cannabis expert they knew was, what should I buy? When dispensaries are almost as plentiful as coffee shops, at least here in Seattle, where to buy weed was no longer a challenge. But with psilocybin, all psychedelics in fact, the question I get now is, where do I get them? If you are considering taking psychedelics, it's important to research their effects and potential risks thoroughly, and to only obtain them from a trusted source. So, wanting to make sure I was pointing close friends and curious sister trippers toward a trusted source, I eagerly shared a trusted source. Then I started thinking, what if I could be a trusted source? So, last year, I created Ray Ray, a psilocybin brand available in Seattle only. In 2021, Seattle City Council voted to approve a referendum proclaiming the investigation, arrest, and prosecution of anyone engaging in entheogen-related activities should be among the City of Seattle's lowest law enforcement priorities. In a word, Seattle decriminalized, among other things, psilocybin, so I can legitimately gift magic mushroom products to attendees of events that I will start hosting this summer. These new experiences are created to inspire awe, and I incubated them in my home with small groups this spring. I'll share more of what came out of these evenings as the episodes progress. And if after listening to a couple or a few of these shroom strain episodes, you still have questions and you happen to live in Seattle, starting on May 16th, again on May 30th, June 13th, and June 27th at the Cloud Room on Capitol Hill for Q&As, expert guests, and the 411 on how to find a trusted source for psilocybin mushrooms in Seattle. Stay tuned for more information, and for now, listen on as we get into Golden Teacher, the perfect first shroom for any first-time psychonaut. Golden Teachers are a gentle but profound entry point into the world of psychedelics, so let's learn more about the Psilocybin cubensis variety. When choosing a strain of magic mushrooms, the most important factor is strength, or potency. Some strains are considered stronger than others, but overall the effects are more or less the same in these species. There is an expression, a cube is a cube is a cube, meaning, with few exceptions, the various strains of Psilocybin cubensis have very little differences in their potency and effect.
Golden Teacher is, as I like to say, Fisher-Price my first mushroom trip type of strain. Golden Teacher, also known as Golden Emperor, is perhaps the most well-known
Psilocybin cubensis strain.
Consistently in the top 5 of most recommended desired strains. Golden Teacher, again, or GT, was first classified in the 1980s, but the specifics around its discovery are shrouded in mystery.
Most reports have Golden Teacher mushrooms first discovered in the late 1980s and were first identified as a unique strain by mushroom expert Stephen Pollack. The origins of this strain are not entirely clear, but it is believed to have originated in Southeastern Asia, possibly in the region around Thailand and Cambodia. Although, an earlier episode of this podcast stated that it was believed to have come from Florida.
Often referred to as GT, this strain's golden moniker is inspired by its bell-shaped caps that resemble tanned, leather-like skin atop medium to large size fruiting bodies. That's what we call these whole mushrooms. They are whole fruit bodies. Although Golden Teachers have average potency, it produces trips that are very calm and relaxing with mild visuals and strong body sensations. GT trips are often shorter than average, only 2 to 4 hours, which is an advantage for beginners. In line with the expected effects of a standard trip dose, 2 to 3.5 grams, and what many consider to be a classic psychedelic trip dose of psilocybin mushrooms, Golden Teachers produce a high characterized by visual distortions, enhanced colors, lightness or giddiness, powerful emotions, including feelings of euphoria and enhanced spiritual connection. Macrodosing, which is not microdosing, can both be done with strong and weaker strains, but you might want to consider a mushroom like Golden Teacher for microdosing. Feedback among those who microdose with Golden Teacher include the following results: introspection, reflection, grounding, awareness, lightness, emotional clearing, and happy cries.
The potency of Golden Teacher mushrooms can vary depending on the growing conditions, such as substrate, temperature, and humidity. Considered to be a moderately potent strain of psilocybin mushrooms, Golden Teachers are the perfect variety for first-time psychonauts. The Golden Teacher mushroom variety will take you on a comfortable, euphoric journey through both your environment and your mind. The intention for taking Golden Teacher mushrooms can vary depending on the individual, and not everyone likes to set an intention, but many people use them for spiritual or therapeutic purposes. Some users report that Golden Teachers can help to alleviate symptoms of depression, anxiety, and PTSD, and can promote a sense of emotional healing and self-discovery. Some people use them to enhance creativity, improve mood, and reduce anxiety or depression. Others use them for introspection, self-discovery, and personal growth. It is important to approach the use of psilocybin mushrooms with intention and respect for the substance. It is recommended to approach the use of Golden Teacher mushrooms with a clear intention in mind, such as exploring personal issues, gaining insight, or connecting with nature. If it's your first time, regardless of what your intention is going into the trip, the mushroom might have other ideas. All magic mushroom experiences benefit from thinking through your reasons for consuming, as well as from paying attention to your internal mindset and external setting. If you're in a bad headspace or less than optimal physical environment, perhaps set Golden Teacher aside until you can be sure of a more comfortable setting. In short, you gotta make sure you're golden, right? The effects of Golden Teacher mushrooms are often described as gentle and uplifting, with a sense of clarity and insight. The moderate potency of the Golden Teacher mushroom variety means that it errs more on the side of typical psychedelic effects, visual hallucinations such as visual distortions, vivid colors, increased sensory awareness, perhaps auditory hallucinations, and altered perceptions of time and space. Users may also experience feelings of euphoria, introspection, heightened creativity, and feeling of connectedness to the world and the universe. Unsurprisingly, Golden Teacher is named for the yellow or golden center on a mature cap. The Golden Teacher strain has a golden colored cap that can range from light yellow to golden brown. The cap has a convex shape that becomes more flattened as the mushroom matures. It has a distinctive nipple-like shape that can make it easy to identify. Caps tend to be medium-sized in the first crop of mushrooms, but can reach larger sizes, up to 5 centimeters in diameter, in subsequent flushes of growth. The gills underneath the cap are initially pale yellow but turn darker as the mushroom matures. The stem is white, usually thicker toward the base, and can grow up to 10 centimeters in length. As with most psilocybin-containing mushrooms, the stems bruise blue when picked or damaged. And for more information on exactly what that means, check out episode 43, The Medicine, in this podcast. Let's talk about the duration. As I mentioned earlier, Psilocybe cubensis golden teacher mushrooms share many characteristics with other members of the species. Effects of the shroom should come up within the usual 30 to 60 minutes after consumption. Like I mentioned earlier in this episode, the lower potency of golden teachers means that the trip can be a little shorter than more potent varieties. You should expect to be feeling the effects of the mushroom for 2 to 4 hours. With more potent varieties, we may suggest low doses. 0.5 grams to 1 gram when starting off. Most information about golden teacher suggests a larger dose of up to 2 grams, even for beginning psychonauts. This is due to the lower levels of psilocybin in the mushroom. A 2-gram dose will provide all the introductory effects of a psychedelic trip. That said, if it's your first time, it's always a good idea to have someone, we refer to them, most people do, as a trip sitter, close at hand, just in case things get too intense. Again, a typical beginner dose for golden teacher mushrooms is between 1 and 2 grams for a mild to moderate experience, while a more experienced user may take 2 to 3.5 grams for a stronger trip. As we finish up this episode, here are trip tips. Start with a low dose, 0.5 to 1.5 grams for beginners. Be patient and allow time for the effects to fully kick in. Wait 45 minutes. Work your way up gradually. Take more in 0.5 to full 1 gram increments. Be sure to prepare a comfortable and safe environment and avoid taking them in unfamiliar or public spaces.